Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. In our last video, we got started with setting up, super basic text fields here. We can see that they're working and that the password field works as well. And like I said, we are going to set up the custom text fields later on in this section. I just want to get started with building out the rest of the view first. We're going to start with this sign in button here and then do this don't have account sign up guy and then also this forgot password guy. So I want to start with this guy here. I know we're skipping around a little bit, and that's okay, but I do want to take this step by step, just so I don't, make one video super long where I'm trying to build out one massive screen. I like to go step by step. I think that's a little bit better for both you guys and for me. But anyway, we're going to go below this VStack. I believe we can actually just place this sign in button below our embedded stack and keep it within the parent stack. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is create a button, and you're just going to select the one that says action and label. So action, right now you can just say print handle sign up. And this label here, you can see here that it's just a text that says button. So we're going to go ahead and customize this now. So on the text guy, you're going to go ahead and hit sign in or type sign in. You're going to say dot font is going to be dot headline. Dot foreground color is dot white. And that's going to come back into view in just a second. We're going to give it a frame of width is going to be 340. Height is going to be 50. The alignment you don't need to worry about. Dot background, and we're going to say color dot blue, and you can already see it coming back. Then we're going to say dot clip shape capsule, and then we're going to give it some padding. All right, so that looks pretty good, right? So let's just go over everything that we just did there. So the order of this stuff does matter, guys. And the more you practice with Swift UI, the more you get the hang of it, right? So for example, if I were to place this background color like up here, you guys would notice that it would only fill in the text, right? Or just surround the text. But the frame of the button is still 340 by 50, right? So you can see if I press outside of it, that it's still handling the pressing there. So the reasoning for that is that in Swift UI, they want you to set the frame first and then apply the background color, right? So it's like, hey, give me a frame and then apply the background to that frame. Essentially, that's sort of the logic behind that. And then, the same kind of with the clip shape. If I were to place that up here, sorry, you guys notice it doesn't do anything, right? And that's because we need to apply the clip shape to the frame that we just created. Right now, you notice that it gives us that capsule clip shape. This is a really cool Swift UI feature, by the way. It just gives you that sort of ovular button, oval shaped button, right? But anyway, guys, so that's looking pretty good, right? Next thing you notice, I don't know if you guys can notice this, but there's actually a shadow on this button. So let's go ahead and add that in there now. So we can go ahead here and say dot shadow and do color and radius and then XY. And we're going to say dot gray, radius is 10, x 0, y 0. Okay. And you guys notice that now our button has a nice shadow to it. And that just gives your app a little bit more depth, right? It gives the screen a little bit more depth. It makes the button pop out a little bit more. And it's something that's extremely subtle that users can't directly notice, right? But it does really enhance your UI. It's those really subtle little things that can make the difference between a super clean, user-friendly UI and something that just looks okay or doesn't look good at all. So now we can actually go ahead and add this forgot password button in. Probably should have done that first, but it's all good. We're just going to go right above the code we just did for the button, and we're going to create our forgot password button. So guys, something that we haven't seen before in this course yet is something called a navigation link. So what we want that button to do is actually take us to a new screen. And in Swift UI, the way that you accomplish that is by using something called a navigation link, right? So first thing, because we want this guy to be all the way over on the right, we're going to place it inside of an H stack and then add a spacer. And then we can just go ahead and, just to see it showing up, we can say forgot password. We'll get to the navigation link component in just a second. So now we can see our forgot password guy showing up. We notice that it's not clickable or anything yet. So let's just modify the font and sizing and all that stuff really quickly. So we can say .font.ss weight. So it'd say .ssw. We want it to be 13 semi-bold, and we don't need the design. And then I think that should be it, right? Oh no, we want padding on the top, and we want padding on the trailing edge of, let's say, 28 pixels, right? So now it's looking pretty good. We just have to modify the color, but that's going to change when we create the navigation link. So actually just go ahead and cut this guy, say Command X, so that we could, we can paste it again later. We're going to create this navigation link, open up the parenthesis, and just select this guy that says destination and label. So for the text or the destination, you can just say text reset password. I'll go over that in a second. For the label, go ahead and place that the code we wrote to create that guy. And you guys notice that the foreground color of it changes, and it's looking pretty good. Now if we click this guy, it takes us over to a screen that says reset password. So just by saying text reset password, it takes us over to a screen with just a piece of text in it that says reset password, right? So that's looking pretty good. That's our reset password button. Now we want to get this don't have an account button guy working in there as well. So let's see how we're going to do that. So we're going to actually just scroll down, guys, and we're going to go below this spacer. And this is actually going to be a navigation link as well. It's going to be slightly different, though. So let's just go ahead and type everything out manually. So if you guys go and just put, like a piece of text here that says don't have an account, you guys see it showing up at the bottom right now. It is, however, part of this parent VStack, right, where the alignment we have set to leading. Okay, so don't worry about that just yet. We'll fix that later on. I really just want to get the button set up, or the navigation link set up. So go ahead and cut that guy again. Say navigation link, destination label. And for the destination here, guys, we can say registration view. And really quickly, go to your registration view and actually just type out registration view so that you can see that when we click that guy, it actually goes to the registration view. I had that typed out, while I wasn't filming. So you guys can do that if you want, just to see that it's actually going there or to the right place. This one goes to reset password and this one goes to registration view. So obviously we want to change the text up. So we're going to say text don't have an account. But you guys might notice that this is a little bit unique, right? So it says don't have an account, and that's in one font setting, and then the sign up is bolded. So it's like, how do we accomplish that, right? And make sure everything is just wrapped inside of a navigation link. So back in, UIKit, the good old days, you had to create something with, you had to create a button with something called an attributed label. And that was really annoying to create, right? You had to give it each piece of text a bunch of attributes, and it was kind of just a mess. But anyway, it's a lot easier in SwiftUI. So once again, just go ahead and cut this piece of text out, and we're gonna just wrap it inside of an H stack. Put the text there, and then another piece of text, and we can say sign up. And you guys will notice that we can modify each one of these pieces or individual text components. So let me just get my code up to make sure I do this right. Okay, so this guy is going to be .font, .system size weight, 14, semi-bold. And this guy is just going to be .font, .system size of 14. We don't need to give it any sort of modifier. Okay, so that looks good as far as, you know, how we want the button to look. We do need to, however, mess with the spacing here. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to fix that spacing bug a little later. Right now, I just want to get this moved up. So all we have to do, guys, is on this label, so you can double click that bracket right there. It'll take you to the end of the closure, and you can say padding.bottom 16. So that moves it up just enough. If you guys want it to be like 32, you can do that. You can play around with whatever you want the parameters to be there. But, you know, we are going to have to eventually fix this issue. You guys can see here, this is sort of the issue I was talking about, where this VStack has its whole alignment set to leading, right? And we don't exactly want that. So I think what we can do is actually just go to embed in VStack. And that embeds everything in like a parent VStack, and now this guy is treated as its own VStack. So let's go over how to fix this really quickly. First off, guys, let's just fix some spacing right here. So on the top VStack, go ahead and say spacing 12. Right, that gives it a little bit more spacing there. And then what we're going to want to do here is everything is still wrapped inside of this VStack where the alignment is leading, right? So we want to fix that, where we're going to take out a lot of this stuff. So we want to grab the H stack, the button, the spacer, and the navigation link. So grab all that stuff, right? So pretty much everything below this text field VStack, and stop, you know, with 2 brackets left there. So just cut that out. So this should be a little easier to read now. So we have, this is going to be our parent VStack. Oops, I think I messed something up. Just grab up to there, right? Yeah, don't grab this stuff, right? Okay, so you can see now everything got kind of squished, right? Now, if we go and put this outside of this VStack, but inside the current one or the parent one, we notice that everything fits there a lot nicer, right? So let me just explain that one more time really quickly, because it's really confusing with like all the brackets and where things go, and there's VStack, 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 HStack, you know, it's kind of crazy. But essentially, guys, all we did, if I were to back all this stuff out and just do it again with you really quickly, the issue, once again, was that everything is wrapped in a VStack where the alignment is set to leading. If I were to delete this, everything would get centered, right? But we want everything, you know, some things to be on the leading edge and other things to be centered, right? So what we do is we essentially just extract this into its own VStack, right? So what you do is you command click on that guy and you hit embed in VStack. And then we just took all the stuff that we don't want to be on the leading edge out, right? So it was this navigation link right here, and then the sign in button, and let's see, right? I think it stops right there, right? And then we just placed it outside of this guy, and everything should go back to normal in just a second. And let me just add the spacing back here. Okay, and then, you know, now you notice that everything that we want to be centered is centered. Everything that we want on the leading edge is on the leading edge. So the important concept to take away here is how to embed things inside of stacks when you want to mess with the spacing, right? So I hope that you guys sort of understand that concept. It is tricky. Don't be worried if you don't get it just yet. Like I said, the more we practice this stuff, the more you guys are going to get it. But essentially, guys, that's like the skeleton of our view. The only thing that we have left to do to finish this up is to modify or create these custom text field views that we're going to create in the next video. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys are following along nicely. And we'll see you in the next one where, like I said, we're going to be creating those custom text views.